Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Learn with Vidya. In today's video we are going to learn about what are question tags and how do we use question tags correctly. So let's start and see first what are question tags. So it is a common practice in conversation to make a statement and ask for confirmation, or we can say agreement. For example, it is very hot, isn't it? So here the sentence can be divided into two parts. Main statement, it is very hot, and short addition, isn't it? So the short addition is a part added to the sentence to ask for confirmation or agreement. Such short addition after a statement are called question tag. Now here, she can't swim, can she? It's raining quite hard, isn't it? You don't like sweet, do you? Tomorrow we have that presentation, don't we? In all these sentences, at the end, that is, can she, isn't it, do you, don't we, those are the question tags. And while writing, they are separated by a comma and ends with question mark. So now let's see how do we form question tag. The formation of question tag. We usually have a positive statement and a negative tag. Either we are having negative statement and a positive question tag. See the example? It is such an innovative concept, isn't it? So here the statement is positive. So we are adding question tag negative, that is isn't. You don't like sweet, do you? So the second statement is in negative form. So we have to add the positive question tag. So means the positive statement, negative question tag, and negative statement, positive question tag. So now with that also one thing we have to keep in mind is that whenever making a question tag, a pronoun we have to use instead of a noun. Okay, see the example. Pradnesh does what a captain is expected to do, doesn't he? So here instead of writing doesn't Pradnesh, what we have wrote here, that doesn't he. So he is the pronoun used for Pradnesh, because Pradnesh is the name of a boy. We use the pronoun he. Suppose there is a name of a girl, then we have to write here doesn't she. So whenever we are going to make a question tag or add a question tag, at that time for a noun in the statement we have to use a pronoun. So now let's see the rule number 1 while making a question tag. And let's start with to be's verb. So be, that is to be, is the most common verb in English language. Am, is, are, was, were are the forms of to be's verb. So when be is in statement, then be in the tag. You have to keep in mind that be in the statement, then we have to use the be in the tag. Be means here to be's verb, any. Then is, are, was, were, any to be's verb is there, then we have to use the to be verb into that question tag also. See the example. It is very hot today, isn't it? So here to be's verb is used. So while making a question tag, we have to use to be's verb, that is, but the statement is a positive way. So we have to make tag into negative form. So is contraction in negative will become isn't. These chilies are really spicy, aren't they? That school wasn't very good, was it? Those flies were so annoying, weren't they? So here is, are, was, were, these are the to be's verb, and we have to use that to be's verb into making question tag also. So we had used here isn't, aren't, was, and weren't. So all this is about is or was or. What about the am? Am is also to be verb. So whenever am, that to be verb is in the statement, you have to make a tag with are. Okay. So I am next, aren't I? I am the tallest here, aren't I? So whenever am will be there, then in tag you have to use aren't. So now next, let's see rule number 2. It is about auxiliary verbs. Whenever in a statement auxiliary verb is there, we have to take auxiliary verb in a question tag also. See the examples, you can play the piano, can't you? So your can is a auxiliary verb, play is a main verb. So we have to take a can for making question tag. The statement is in a positive, so we have to change that modal auxiliary verb into negative form while adding the tag over there. So the tag will be here, can't you? You are working late tonight, aren't you? We haven't seen Swara and Swaraj in ages, have we? So like this, now here can, are, haven't, all these are the auxiliary verbs, and for that auxiliary verb we have to make tag with also auxiliary. Now next let's see rule number 3. Now here let's look at the statement. Parth plays football. There is no be and no auxiliary. We only have one verb, that is plays. So what do I do here? At this situation, you have to use do or does or did. As per the tense, you have to use this. Whenever you are not having to be verb there, whenever you are not having any auxiliary verb there, at that time you have to use do, does, did from that three, anyone which can be suits there as per the tense. So now here, Parth plays football, doesn't he? Your parents live in Satara, don't they? Parth and Pradnesh played tennis, didn't they? So here, your parents live in Satara. Present tense is there, so we have to use do. Statement is in positive way, we have to make it into negative. So for do, we have made contraction, that is don't, do not, don't. Parth and Pradnesh played tennis. Played shows past tense, so we have to use here did. So like that, whenever no modal auxiliary, whenever no to be verb in the statement, at that time we have to use do, does or did from that anyone. In short, when be in the statement, use be in the tag. When auxiliary in the statement, use auxiliary in a tag. And when no be, no auxiliary in a statement, use do, did, does. Now next rule, rule number 4, which is about imperative sentences or imperative statements. So whenever we are having imperative statement for making a question tag, at that time we have to use will you or won't you. For example, come here, won't you? Shut the door, won't you? Don't say nonsense, will you? Don't repeat it, will you? So like that, for imperative sentence, two tags are used, that is will you or won't you. Now let's see the changes of helping verbs happening in question tag, and most common helping verbs list is given here. See, is, isn't, are, aren't, was, wasn't, were, weren't, do, don't, did, didn't, have, haven't, had, hadn't, will, won't, can, can't, could, couldn't, must, mustn't, should, shouldn't. So like this, the helping verbs are getting changed while making the question tags. And the question tag, always you have to end with a question mark.